What is up, guys? I go by the name of Coach Kevin. I am a dating coach here in Chicago, and I've worked for big companies like RSD back in 2008. I'm also one of Coach Kyle's top performers on his school group as of right now. And today I want to talk about purpose. And does that purpose actually help you out on your journey of getting abundance of love or relationships or things of that nature? So, without further ado, let's go straight into the video. So one thing that I want to point out, man, is where does this come from? And it comes from an uncomfortable level of self-awareness, man, and allowing yourself to listen to your emotions along with logic behind it, and the combination of both. And when you do that, you get more of a context of what specifically will motivate you and fulfill you long term. Because let's say you're doing something that you don't enjoy doing or that you don't love, you're essentially getting good at something that you don't like. And I don't want you to get stuck in that type of dynamic. Um, like it, and same thing in like job, man, or same thing in like relationships. So that's why I bring it up. So the combination of those two things are very important, especially in women. If you're dating like a physically attractive woman that you don't like let's say her mind, her mindsets, things of that, then it's not something worth pursuing or having long term. And why this goes hand in hand with purpose is because being so in tune with what makes you tick, essentially, if you weren't like if you were your the best way I could describe this and how that process looks like is imagine you're like in Christmas, man, and you have like a niece or something, or your child or whatever, and you see different presents, and whatever present resonates with that child the most, that's the thing that is outside of social conditioning. And when you get so in tune with little things in your life that you specifically enjoy, you position yourself in a life that is way more fulfilling and something that you enjoy more, which will lead you to your long term purpose of what you enjoy doing. Because it doesn't take work or effort to wake up and do the things that you enjoy doing. Before this, before I started my dating coaching business, I used to have multiple different sales jobs and also had like regular, like managerial, um, like works, types of work. And when I had that, I was depressed. I hated my life and I didn't want to exist in a world where I would have to work. And it wasn't until this was such a big pain point that I started doing my own thing. And then I started doing pressure washing and knocking on doors using my own equipment that I got from Facebook Marketplace, which I would get for free and then sell it on eBay. And when I realized, oh, I no longer have to work a job, I could just do a business, that shifted everything. But then I was like, okay, long term, I don't want to do this for like the next 3 months. So, what is something that I can stick to, that I can love, that I'm fully indulging in? And for me, that was psychology, the biological mindsets between the feminine and the masculine, and psychology and business and sales and like all of it, and fulfillment, relationships, shadow work, spirituality, psychology, like self esteem, like all of it. I was obsessed with it and still am to this day. So it doesn't feel like work for me, especially if I'm helping out people in that same, segue. I invite you to start asking yourself, what is it that you enjoy doing on a daily? And it can be literally anything, man. Like it can be, like, it can just be anything. Like I have a lot of guys that ended up doing music or ended up doing like different businesses that had to do with video games. Like they would be really good at a game and then coach people through the game and actually get paid for gaming. Um, and what I don't want you to do is fall into this other trap of like ego. So that's why I'm saying self awareness is such a big key factor in this. Uh, because if your ego is in the way, I used to want to be a musician just because I lacked the validation from the exterior world instead of my own. So I wouldn't actually enjoy making music, and Like it didn't emotionally engage me. And when I would create music, it felt like a lot of work, effort that I didn't want to put in. So make sure that when you are on the journey of finding your own purpose, to realize what emotionally engages you from a observer perspective, like stepping outside of your identity and being able to observe yourself and what emotionally ticks you. Same thing with women, man. I'll give you another example. Like 3 days ago, I ended up going, 2 days ago, I ended up going to a concert with one of my family members. And was dancing with this woman with the biggest cake, for lack of a better word, here on YouTube. Uh, and in his mind, he was all like, man, that is fucking amazing. You're so lucky, yada, yada, yada. And the thing is that I've dated women with that type of body. And I personally don't like it because they sometimes are a little on the heavier side and won't continue or match my cadence of doing things. And I can't control um, the sexual experience. And for me, that's way more pleasurable instead of having that type of experience. So to society, it might seem like, oh, wow, how can you like exchange those two things? But this is the thing that I'm talking about. Everyone has a particular type of value that they value in things, especially if your ego's out of the way. You can see more in depth of who you are, what you like, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and get closer to your purpose. And that goes hand in hand with like the types of jobs that you're doing, what you wish you would want to be doing. Like also wishing what you want to do and then actually doing the thing and seeing if it's actually for you is something worth considering. And that's something that I want you to consider in order to have more fulfillment. Because that also brings me to the next point of, does this help you out with women? Yes, it does, because you are less detached from the outcome and you're coming from a perspective of, does she fit me? Do I actually like her? And you start qualifying. And that just seems way more attractive because a good majority of women want long term and sustainability for a family. And when you come at it from that angle, from that approach, it's easier for them to be open and they're like winning you over, and the play is just a bit better. And that doesn't mean don't approach women. That doesn't mean, flirt with women. That doesn't mean like don't text them or whatever. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And what emotionally engages you. To conclude, the message of this video is that yes, it does help you out with women, and yes, it helps out your quality of life more than anything in finding that. Anyway, hope that was a bit insightful and helps you out on your journey if you are figuring that part out in your life. Anyway, see you in the next video, and see you soon. Also, I have real life interactions on my IG of me talking to women and using these things that I talk about in real time. Anyway, description below. Bye.